I just got to the point where I said, I'll just redo this. So welcome to day 3. Um, Day 2 was kind of it was an interesting day. So I'm doing some contract work for the last job I was working at. And I did some of that on the first thing in the morning. And then we went and got food. And came back, took some medicine. Actually had a medicine bar, frozen popsicle, and promptly, completely passed out for the rest of the day. And well into the night. Every time I would get up, go take care of personal business, bathroom business, and I'd sit down and I'd be like, okay. Before I knew it, it was 10 o'clock and I was still tired. I'm like, I'm just going to go to bed and curl up, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Talked to a few folks. Didn't do squat. Aside from a little bit of work. So today's goal on day 3 is to do my video, which I did talk about lots about yesterday and didn't do any of it. So I decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do every couple of days, and I'm going to try and take video throughout my day, and then kind of piece it all together at the end. And that way it's, it'll probably be like every third day. I guess that would be every other day or something. To just kind of share my journey as I go through. But one of the big things that I got a lot of questions from was, why am I doing this? And so I wanted to talk about that real quickly. I promise it'll be real quick. Instead of the 30-minute talking videos that I started to piece together, this will be really short. So I decided to go on a sabbatical. Long story short, a friend of mine helped me realize that I was not really happy with life. I wasn't happy with my relationships. I wasn't happy with what made me feel good, what I was eating, what I looked like, how I was dealing with life, how I was responding to things. None of it made me happy anymore. And I was just in a rut. I was in a really terrible rut that I couldn't see any way out of it. And they had offered me the world, basically. And I said, no, I'm not ready for that. I have responsibilities and commitments I needed to fulfill. And, but I did realize that I needed to make a change in my life. I need to find my happy spot. I need to find my happy spark. I need to know what makes me tick again. What makes me happy, what makes me sad. I can't do this endless work anymore. While everybody else was at the pandemic going through, eat, sleep, repeat, I was going to work, going to the grocery store, cooking, going to bed, and just over and over again. And my weekends turned into such dreariness that I would just crash if I wasn't working through them. And a lot of that came from the fact that I worked for the law firm for so long, and I was doing after hours work, and I just lost contact with my humanity because I never saw people, I never interacted with people, and then COVID hit and it just made it worse, and I just got to the point where I didn't know what was going to make me happy anymore. So the goal behind a sabbatical is to try and find a way to take a break and to go research and study in your chosen field of study, and to find to try and find some sort of key, I guess, for lack of better terms, as to why you are interested in doing this, to really re-spark your interest in life and your interest in your job. And for me, I decided to do a sabbatical for life. Because I really just don't know what makes me happy anymore, etc. So, then turned into the how am I going to do that? And that is really kind of how this all developed. My husband and I decided that the best thing to do would be for him to move to Iowa so he could be close to his grandparents who raised him, so that he can be there in case of whatever happens, and that I would take some time and go explore and try and find myself again, to revisit my roots, which, for those of you who know me, I don't have a lot of roots because I was a nomad for most of my life, and very proud of the fact that I lived in 17 different states and 33 different cities over the course of my life. I guess now 18 different states and 34 cities. So that was, that was really hard, the idea of finding my roots again, because I didn't really know what that meant. Most people, it's, let me go back and visit where I grew up. Well, I grew up all over. I did a lot of travel. So I decided I was going to try and find people who I knew from over the years and go visit them, say hi, spend a little time with them, reconnect with them, and then keep on moving. Basically, go back and see some of the things I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Go back and see some new things. Spend some time under the stars. Reconnect with the earth. Reconnect with my music. Reconnect with my spirituality. Reconnect with my storytelling. That's the video log. And just try and find, some inner peace again. It's funny how, over the years, I was always somebody who would be the first to tell you, hey, if you don't like it, then why are you doing it? And, it's so easy for us to rationalize and say, well, I'm doing it because I'm working towards XYZ, and to completely realize that, XYZ, you can still get to XYZ, but sometimes you just need to take a different path to get there. And I was, my XYZ was, we want to move to Canada in the future. I worked really hard at trying to get my bills paid off, getting everything all, money saved up and so on. And, when this all came down to it, it was like, I can do this. I am not doing this like I did before in my past, where I made a jump and I had, $2,000 in my pocket and I expected it to last, for 6 months, which back then, $2,000 was a lot. And it did last me for about 3 months. But, I'm at the point, and I also had other bills I was trying to take care of at the same time. This time around, I'm in a much better position. I learned from my mistakes. God, I wish more humans would do that. And I'm going back out there, and I'm older and wiser, and that means I also have more health issues and more concerns, like my back, my knees, and oh my God, can I lift that? And I'm going to freeze my ass off, which I have nice thick. Actually, I have a lot of gear for cold weather. I have a lot of gear for hot weather, and trying to figure out how to get everything all down to what I needed was the hard part. Anyhow, so basically that's it in a nutshell. Is I'm going out to try and find my happy place again, and I'm gonna go. While my plans have been very fluid and they have been highly interrupted with trying to meet up with folks and so on, where a lot of that has just kind of fallen through. My husband and I are going to we're going to go to his mom's wedding in Las Vegas end of this month. And then 2 days later, we're going to have our anniversary. And so we decided to just make a week together in Las Vegas, which could be entertaining. It should be interesting. I have my $100 gambling limit where I'm planning on losing $100 because that's generally what happens when I walk into a casino. And that will be all. If I win, great. If I lose, it's $100. So if anybody wants me to gamble their money away, I can't guarantee that you'll ever get anything, but I can certainly guarantee that there's a possibility of losing it. Just send it to me. Let's do the bard. No, seriously. So the whole point behind this whole thing is just to go out there, try and find some peace, trying to reconnect with everything, things that have been important to me in my past. I plan on going to a drum circle just off the reservations out in Arizona. I plan on going back to see the redwoods. If the land border is open, I'm going to go beach camping my way down the Baja Peninsula of Mexico to see my sister in Cabo San Lucas. With COVID, that hasn't been the case, but we'll see when October gets here what COVID is like, and if the government decides to open up the land border again. You can fly into Mexico, you just can't drive into Mexico. Can't walk into Mexico, but you can take a boat. It's like, oh my god, really? But essential services are still flowing, etc. And right now, it's kind of the same thing for Canada. Canada just recently opened up their borders for American vaccinated people. But there's talk that they may close that again because our COVID rates have gotten so high. So I don't know what's going to happen at the moment. Well, the plan is get out there to Las Vegas, see the wedding, see our anniversary, go to a drum circle, spend some time in the redwoods, along the coastlines, go see my parents up in Washington. Spend some time in Colorado. Might even make my way back through some of the go see some of the national parks, some of the more off the road national parks, to just reconnect, do a little boondocking, which technically I'm not a boondocker because I don't have an RV, but it'll be basically living off of what I have with me. So I'll have to have my own water supply. I have my own sewage supply, stuff for that. Will have my own. I have water treatment. I have power with solar power, and just try and live off the land a little bit, sort of. Hopefully there will be a grocery store nearby that I can always pick up stuff that as I need it. But just kind of get a little bit more off the beaten path for a bit and go from there. But the idea is to just reconnect with the universe and see where it takes me. And that's pretty much the end of it. Hopefully I can find some happiness in it, and I am very over-prepared. For those of you who know me, I am always prepared for just about anything. I'd be a good Boy Scout, except I was gay, so I didn't get into the Scouts. Plus, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, so that meant I had to be separate from everything. And but I'm still always prepared for everything. Probably over-prepared for this trip. And that will go into another topic. So Thanks for watching, and I am going to do some little videos over the next day or through the rest of the day and so on, and then I'll piece them all together, and when I have a little bit more time, and try and put out videos every couple of days instead of every day. But it will be, shots from my day basically as I go through it. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. So I know there's a lot of folks who have said, I really wish I could do that, or what you're doing is what I need to do. And I think everybody needs to spend time finding themselves at some point, especially after COVID or during COVID. A lot of people had time to be able to do that, and there were those of us who were working in essential businesses who had no time because we were trying to take care of everything while still, staying healthy and so on. And, we were just worn out because there were fewer of us and we had to, do everything we had to do. And now we're getting to the point where we need to take time for ourselves too. And taking time for yourself is very important. And it's something I haven't done for a long time. And it's something I used to do like every quarter. I would take a weekend where I would just shut down. And it got to the point in my life that wasn't working for me anymore. I was shutting down every weekend. And that's just misery. So my goal is to try and find better ways to do it. And hopefully taking some time will be good. So I just completely repeated myself all over again. Bye.